Hi YouTubers, it's LaRita with TXC Tells All. Do you want to know what I wish I knew before I started law school? Well, they say hindsight is 2020, but they also say to learn from other people's experiences. So I'm going to give you 5 things I wish I knew before I started law school. Hopefully it can help those who are thinking about going to law school, those who are going to be starting law school in the fall. It'll ring a bell with the people who are currently in law school and remind people who have already been to law school of the things that they wish they knew as well. But before I continue, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and like this video so that you can see future content. Okay, tip number 5. Law school exams are not equivalent to your knowledge base. In short, you have to learn how to take a test. This goes to the law school entrance exam as well, the LSAT. I wish I would have known to take a course that prepared me how to take a test. I probably would have scored higher on the LSAT. Essentially, you have to learn how to take a test. I paid for a course to teach me how to take the bar exam, and I passed on the first try. So, like I said, it's not equivalent to your knowledge base. You just have to learn how to take a test. Take it from me. If you have the money, invest in a course that'll help you take tests, and then you'll probably do a lot better on the LSAT, the bar exam, or even some law school exams. Tip number 4. I'm counting down to number 1. Tip number 4 is everybody talking in law school class does not mean that they know what's really going on. You have some people that are talkers, and it sometimes make you feel inferior to other people and think you don't know what you're talking about. Some people just like to talk. Don't let those people intimidate you into thinking that, hey, I don't know what's going on, because sometimes they don't know what's going on either. And I think that kind of resonated with me because I wasn't a talker when I first started law school, but then I also was a learner. And then I realized I knew what the material was, and just because other people were talking does not equivalent to them actually being smarter than me. Tip number 3, the Socratic Method. So for those of you who don't know about law school, the idea for the classroom style is to call on people when the teacher calls on you, and you have to be ready to answer any questions he or she may ask of you. So that means always be prepared, which is hard because law school has a lot of reading, a lot. And so what I actually learned is to work smarter, not harder. So a group of my study group friends and I, we agreed to say, okay, we had 6 cases we had to read for the night. And be prepared for the next day to be called on any one of these 6 cases, which can vary from 10 pages to 30 pages. What we did was assign each other a case each, and we briefed the case, and then we exchanged the briefs between us, and that way each of us were prepared for each of those 6 cases. So if the teacher happened to call on any one of us in the study group, we had the brief ready, and we were like, we're ready to go. And so it's a lot of reading, but you can work smarter, not harder, and actually get the work done in the time frame that you normally would not have done if you hadn't worked with your other partners. Tip number 2. So if you didn't know, the first year of law school, they scare you to death. You're like, I didn't know all this could happen. Am I going to survive this 3 years? And they do it on purpose to see who is mentally strong enough to withstand those 3 years of law school. The second year, they work you to death. It's so much work. Not that any of the other years is not work, but there's an abundant amount of work the second year. The second year, I participated in a clinic, and I helped actual clients, which was very time consuming, but also very rewarding. But they work you to death the second year. The third year, they bore you to death. You're basically trying to see what credits you need to graduate. You're really trying to get a job. You're doing like, this is going to be over soon, and I need a job to pay bills. So first year, scare you to death. Second year, work you to death. And third year, they bore you to death. Okay, so my number 1 tip that I wish I knew before I got to law school is how important lawyers are to the underrepresented class. As I mentioned in my second tip, that I participated in a clinical program and I helped the underrepresented. And I didn't realize how important legal representation was to people, and the lack of it can change the world. We worked with a particular client who was about to lose their whole building because some investor had almost scammed them out of their rights to the building. And had we not stepped in and another law firm that had done pro bono work, these people would have lost their homes. And so it was very mind-blowing to me that, legal counsel is very important for people who have money, but even more important for people who don't have money. So I wish I kind of knew that before I started law school. And that's kind of like warming to my heart to know that we help those people. It took a lot of work, and some of them didn't even know how to understand the contracts that were being put in front of them, and we had to break it down. But I wish I knew that, this is something that would be rewarding and that people don't have access to that. And so I know some of you go to law school for different reasons, but I knew that warmed my heart to know that I had helped somebody else. So I gave you a little rundown of the 5 things I wish I knew, and I'll give you a bonus as well. During law school, I met some of my lifetime friends. This is an experience that nobody else can relate to unless they go through it with you. And so I still speak to these friends to this day. They're my very close friends, and because they can't relate, we reminisce all the time. Remember we had to do this? Remember we had to do that? Nobody will understand the struggle, because that was one of the hardest things that I've gone through in my life. And it showed me how resilient, how powerful, and how strong I can be if I stick to something. And so I think that was one of the things I didn't know I was going to get from going to law school. And that's kind of like a bonus. I wish I knew that I would make these long-term friends, and I still would have gone the same journey, but I wish I would have known that. And so my partner, Tracy, if you watch her videos, she's actually one of my law school classmates, and we're still friends to this day. And if you follow her videos, she'll share some of her experiences as well. We post every Sunday, so make sure you tune in every Sunday. If you hit the subscribe button and that notification bell, you'll get notifications as soon as we post something so that you can keep up with it. And don't forget to comment below. If you're an aspiring law student, if you want to go to law school, been thinking about it, if you are a law school graduate, comment below. Let me know some of your experiences. Was I right on point? Did I miss something? Let us know below, and we'll hopefully can see more content from us in the future. Okay, see you next week.